Now, here's what we're going to do. Real quickly. You're already on your phones. You're already on Twitter, obviously. And you already know the hashtag. What's the hashtag for MSMW? Okay, I've got some answers from the front. Everybody at the back still half asleep. But that's what you get after lunch. So one more time. What's the hashtag for MSMW this year? All right. Yeah. I got that too, Chris. So here's what we're going to do right now. Now, Scott has generously offered to help you reach 370,000 people. So if you are with a brand right now, or with a company, or with a celebrity, and you're endorsing them, you're helping them with their social media, this is something you want, right? Chris is the obvious echo for everyone in the hall. This is something you want, right? Awesome. So here's how we're going to help you win that. If you are the first person to use the hashtag and... Hang on. Don't just use the hashtag and send a blank tweet in. Relax. Here's how it's going to work. If you're the first person to send in to us a picture of the stage. Wait. With the hashtag MSMW and put in there contest lunch. Contest lunch. Hashtag MSMW, picture of the stage. I'm going to get out of your way. 1, 2, 3, go. The first person that tweets this in.
ID, make sure my one is first one, huh?
I don't see no picture on that one. Where's the picture? There's only the contest lunch. Here we go. Sharina. Mirulreen, where you at? Where, mana? Scroll atas balik. You got lah. She just didn't hashtag it lah. Mirulreen, where you at? Come on up in front. Let's give her a round of applause. And can we have Scott up here as well? Now here's what Scott's going to do for you. Scott's going to help you reach 370,000 people. Tell her how, Scott. What do you propose?
How about we tweet a picture? Good? Or what do you want?
You have full access to all 370,000 people on Scott's Twitter page right now. So you can do almost whatever you want with that. I'll leave you with Scott. Almost whatever you want with that. So you can use this huge database however you want. You think that's a good prize or what? 370,000 people, and you got one shot. So you decide how you want to use this.
Or running a zoo or whatever the jobs were. But you had to jump through a number of hoops to do it. So you had to post lots of videos of yourself doing things, ask people to vote for your videos, and to enter a popularity contest. I think that will have to evolve over time. I think eventually people are going to get tired of that. There are people speaking at this conference who have incredibly successful blogs, who in my opinion, and of course they can tell you better than I can, as my blog is not incredibly successful in that way, how insulting it is to be told, here's something that you do professionally and you do very well. We would like you to jump through some hoops for us, you monkey. And if you jump through the hoops cleverly enough and flamboyantly enough, and enough people like you jumping through the hoops, we might give you a free donut. I think companies are going to have to increasingly be really careful about that and make sure that what they're encouraging their audiences to do in social media is respectful of their audience's time. So in terms of choosing which media you're going to use to address your customers, which is a question that I get asked a lot by my clients who are overwhelmed by the choice, is to start with asking what your customers want to know. If your customers want how-to information, then YouTube might very well be the place for you. If your customers want up-to-the-minute news on what's happening in an industry, then Twitter might be the medium for you. Your questions have to be, what can you tell them or can you show them? If you can show them, it might be better to choose a medium that's focused on imagery rather than words. We know, for instance, that a lot of people, that YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. Lots of people want their information in a visual form. which, if you're somebody like me and you like your information in a written form, makes it very easy for you to miss. In my case, for instance, I used to run a blog that had no video, and I would get asked for video, and I would say, but all you'll get in a video is just me saying the same things to you that I would say in the blog. And they'd say, yes, that's absolutely fine. We just prefer to watch somebody saying it to us than to read it. That's how we learn, and that's how we get our information. So that was incredibly valuable feedback for me. And then I think the final most important consideration is how much time do you have? I think it's very easy for people who don't do this a lot to completely misunderstand how much time it takes. I put up a video at the weekend on my YouTube channel before I came here, and it seemed really simple. We went off, we filmed it, we came back, but if I add up the hours, it was 6 hours to put up that 2-minute video. So there's a lot of time that can be involved in what you do. And finally, my final tip for you is, just because you're young, or somebody in the office on a Facebook page and your customers are going to go, oh, thank you at last, somewhere where I can say how much I hate you. People don't, and your employees aren't going to, slag you off. Of course there are going to be negative comments. One of the things that I like to direct people to is, some of you may have seen, there's a YouTube channel, Real Actors Read Yelp, and they take bad Yelp reviews, negative Yelp reviews of restaurants, and they have real actors read them out. And my favorite example I blogged about the other day, so you can see the example at taylors.com in the blog, but it's a woman who loved the meal so much that she phoned the restaurant the next day to say how much she loved the meal she'd had, but she didn't like that the manager wasn't really, really grateful on the phone that she liked the restaurant so much. So she gave them a 1-star review. So she'd loved the meal enough to call, but she still gave a 1-star review. Now, to me, that's kind of relaxing. Once you accept that some people are just going to give you a 1-star review, and even the ones who love you might give you a 1-star review, then it's much easier to go forth and wait to hear from the people who do love you.
It always reminds me of, on the courage part, of a creative director that I worked with when I was an account director at Clemenger BBDO in Sydney many years ago, and I used to have to sort of take in the work that he'd made, and I would look at it and I'd be terrified, and I'd show it to the client and they'd be terrified because it would be controversial or off brief or kooky, and he would just look at me and say, if the client's not terrified, the work's no good. He would say, tell them to put their in one hand and their checkbook in the other and jump off the bloody cliff or get to hell out of here. He was a great creative director. He's no longer around these days. So do we have any questions from the audience? Who is going to grace us with the very first question of the Smarketing panel? Here we go. There we go. We've got a first taker up there. Courage. Can we get a mic to that man?
Right. Hi. Good afternoon. My name is Falik. My tweet handle is Falik Effendi Yet, and my YouTube channel is Mr. Falik. Feel free to check it out. Anyways, my question is, when we talk about the courage, right? How do we convince, especially the bosses, to change the platform? For example, we know for a fact that some of our potential clients are on a different platform. For example, in my business, like what Anil told me just now, my clients might be on LinkedIn rather than Facebook. So how do we actually convince our bosses that this sort of change should happen? And another question,